I'm unlike many in my family. I'm not a writer. I'm not a public speaker, except if I'm reading something I've written and reading it in public, maybe I am. My mother died nearly 18 years ago, and like most people, I'll never get over missing her. Her eulogy was delivered by her pastor, who simply read the newspaper obituary I had written. He didn't know Mother very well and dutifully reported her dates of birth and death, but not the innards of her life. I always regretted not jumping up and screaming at the congregation, "My mother was so much more than a couple of dates." I didn't, though, because, geez, what would they think? I've written this tribute 1,000 times since her funeral in my mind, and I'm so grateful to get to say these words out loud, finally. Mother never had a job outside the house. Her job was truly being a homemaker, not just a housewife, but a homemaker. To be sure, my brother and I had to make our beds, clear the table, take out the trash, but Mother made the house a home. Like many mothers of a certain age, she had dinner on the table at 6 p.m. every night with no help. She did all the laundry with no washer and dryer, again, with no help. She put up Christmas decorations. She made our birthdays special. She did all the things that, I'm sorry to say, we took for granted. However, my mother was much more than any one job title. She was a mother. She was not my best friend. She was my mother. When I misbehaved, there were consequences. She was our spiritual leader, a nurse, a fixer of things, a friend, a house cleaner, a partner, a manager, disciplinarian, comforter, confidant, all the duties included in the mother job description. When I was 11, she was my Girl Scout leader. She didn't teach us how to sell cookies or how to sew or cook. She taught us how to dance. None of the other mothers did that, and my friends loved her. Another vivid memory is of us taking the streetcar downtown, window shopping. Then we had lunch at Anna Maud's, where I always had spinach, mashed potatoes, and rhubarb pie. I remember it as if we did it every week, but I'm sure it was just special occasions. As an aside, speaking of cooking, when I idiotically married at the age of 16, my entire cooking repertoire consisted of biscuits and cherry pie. Period. I heard Mother explain to a friend, I wasn't through with her yet. You know, I don't believe she was ever through with me. She continued mothering until I gave her another job, that of grandmothering, a job at which she excelled. She could actually be her grandchildren's best friend, and she was. At the age of 22, I was divorced with nearly 3 children. I was pregnant. My husband had left several months before our 3rd child was born. Therefore, armed with only a hard-won high school diploma, I had to go to work very soon after her birth. My baby had health problems, and my mother stepped in to care for her while I worked. For years, she cared for this child, plus she was of immeasurable help with my older 2. When my children were 4, 8, and 9, I was on a mission to find myself. Another act of bordering on the idiotic. I quit my job, gathered up these children, and moved to New Orleans, of all places. My son didn't adapt very well and wanted nothing more than to return to Oklahoma City, so he did. And he lived with my parents while I was looking for myself. My girls stayed with me. Mother suddenly found herself being no longer a grandmother, but a mother to a 10-year-old boy. Not a job for sissies. A year and a half later, I grew up, returned to Oklahoma City. Mother resumed her caring for everybody job. I guess if I hadn't had my mother, and my father too, of course, we would have managed, because people do, but I'm not sure how. Even after I remarried, when by then I had 2 teenagers and a 9-year-old, she was there to support me when a child was ill and had to miss school or had to be driven to anything, and I couldn't do it because I was working. I hope to God that I thanked her for her supreme sacrifices. I probably didn't. She always taught me the importance of being thankful, but I probably never was thankful enough to her, the one person who deserved it the most. I will miss her every day for the rest of my life, but I'm comforted with the knowledge that one day I'll meet her when I enter the kingdom of God, and boy, will I have a lot to tell her. Starting with, Mother, I love you and I thank you for loving me. The second will be, Mother, I finally delivered your eulogy, 18 years late.